If you're thinking of using Lightroom, this is a good place to start, but we really need to set some basics. So what I'm going to teach you today is nothing about Lightroom, but some things you need to do before you even start using Lightroom. So stick with me. I'm going to share my screen on full screen just to give you some idea of what we're going to be talking about. Okay, I removed myself from the screen so we can do a full screen of what we're going to show. So what we need to do is get organized. That's the first thing you got to do. So hopefully your desk doesn't look like this, but this is the kind of photo just to kind of give you an idea. You don't want your files scattered all over the place. So if you open your folder where your photos are, does it look like this? Are they just a bunch of files all over the place? Hopefully this is not what your files look like, and hopefully they're not all named like this. And we'll talk about naming a little bit later, but what I'm after here more is organization. So when you start looking at organizing your files, there's a couple ways you can do this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share two methods with you. Now, the first method is you organize by date. You use a year, like 2024, month, January, event, polar bear dip. Method two, you organize by an event or location, like your birthday parties, an event in town that you went to, a trip that you went on to for vacation, a city that you live into, or a city that you visited. I used method one for a long time. I tried method two last year for a little bit. I'm not real fond of it, but some live by it, and that's okay. But the point here is you want to use one of these two methods. Pick one that works for you and stick with it. So here's what my structure looks like. This is from 2019. Today's date is 2024 in January. But you can see I got the year 2019. I got some months and I expanded January. And I had just a few folders here just for an example. This is what it would look like if you did year, month, and then a description of the event. This folder structure is a fictitious one. I just made up some names, Florida, Grand Canyon, and whatnot. This would be event/location type structure. To me, this was more difficult. I started looking at if I had to go back years or if I went to the same place, a lot of places, the folder would get cluttered and I'd have to create subfolders underneath it to distinguish from one date to the next. So I prefer the year, month, event type setup. So that's what I like. Which setup do you use? All right. So come back off of full screen, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Lightroom a little bit, just a little bit. I'm just going to show you my folder structure. Actually, before that, a couple things to get organized. Like I said, I showed you folder structures. If you start taking a lot of photos, I mean a lot of photos, it's not going to fit on your computer and eventually you can run out of space. And I use these small SSD cards, a small cable on it. So here's the SSD. It is fast. I can edit from these. And this one is a 1 terabyte, and they come in 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte, I think. If you're just a beginner photographer, 1 terabyte is probably plenty. That'll probably get you through close to a year or more. If you take a lot of pictures, you might want to start looking at 2 and 4 terabytes. We'll talk about backing those up later, but for now, I use off computer storage. Can look at my photos even if those aren't attached, which is really cool. As you'll learn about Lightroom, you don't have to have all your hard drives attached to see all your photos. Pretty impressive. All right, we're sharing my screen. This is what Lightroom looks like. Do me a favor, put a comment down below. What would you like to learn in Lightroom? And if you do want to start using Lightroom, I will also have a link. It's an affiliate link down below. Check that out. It's right around $10 a month. It gives you Lightroom and Photoshop. We're going to be focusing on Lightroom. All right, you just seen a few seconds ago what my folder structure looks like, what I recommend, and what are some options. Let's clean the screen up a little bit. Let's hide my face, and we'll just look at Lightroom all by itself. Now, as you can see, I have got Lightroom turned on, and I've got my folders opened up. My next video, I will put a link up in the top right here once I make the video, but if it's not there yet, it's probably because I haven't made the video yet. But I'll put it up in the top right hand corner that will describe all these menu options as best I can and how you navigate and some of the pitfalls that I had. So make sure you check that out. But as you can see, here's my year folder. Now you'll notice there's question marks on all of these, and that's because my hard drive is not plugged into my computer right now. But if I come all the way down to 2019, like I showed you on my PowerPoint slide, here is my January 2019. And if we just pick on polar bear, you can see I can still see the photos. So as I mentioned before, this video is more about just getting your folder structure started. And I just wanted to show you here in Lightroom that the same folder structure will be in Lightroom that you put on your computer. So we will start from there, and we will start working on Lightroom in the next video. Make sure you stay tuned. Come back next week for the next video. It's Doug Gabbard, practicing photography. Now go take photos.